What up, homeless jabroni, the jabroni god, and welcome to my first installment of my favorite comic book panels and pages for the week of January 28th, 2018. I kind of stole this from Sargon of Akkad with his This Week in Stupid week-by-week installment. I figure I could do that same thing, but for, like, comics, because I really like comics. Go figure. So, I'm going to try to have these babies, like I said, like weekly installments, sort of like Sargon of Akkad, and see how this works out. Let's see how long I could keep this charade up. The following texts and images have been edited to prevent copyright problems. The art is owned by its respective companies. Support the industry by purchasing these books to get the entire story. So, I'm going to try to I'm going to try to edit these images in a way where I can dodge them copyright bullets. Because let's be fair, I'm not trying to have DC Comics send Deathstroke to my fucking crib so he could be all like, so yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to dodge those copyright bullets. If my master Yoda was here, he'd say,
no, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
And I'm gonna respond to Master Yoda by saying, lick my anus, you must, bitch nigger. That was cringy as fuck. I hope you enjoyed that, everybody out there. Anyways, let's get moving to the obviously major spoiler warning. If you haven't read any of these, which I'm about to bring up, I will list these issues that I'm talking about, my favorite comic book panels from, in the description of this video. So you had your shot. All right, guys, you had your shot. I'm gonna be stating them before I talk about them, and I'm gonna have them in the description. So I don't want to hear shit, nigga. So, alright, let's do this shit. The first issue we're going to talk about is Doomsday Clock, issue number 3 by Jeff Johns. So, and Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Sorry, you can't leave the artist out. You gotta include the artist. It's a creative team. Anyway, quick summary of Doomsday Clock. The characters from the Watchmen universe are in the DC universe. That's the quick way to pretty much explain the plot right now, but a little bit more context. The Watchmen universe characters are looking for Dr. Manhattan in the DCU. So we can actually move on now. We can move on from that. That's a sufficient explanation. So in these few panels, we see the new Rorschach, which I like to call Black Shack, because, Walter Kovac is dead. And the new Rorschach is a black guy, so hence Black Shack. But we see him in Batman's cave, just waiting for him to finish Rorschach's journal, because he breaks in, and Batman's like, "Who the fuck is this guy with this Rorschach mask on and a detective suit, like what, and the hat, like what?" And Rorschach is just like, here, finish this. This will explain everything. And Batman's like, alright. So he just sits down and he starts reading, and you can see through these panels that he is literally waiting for Batman to finish Rorschach's journal, and he just gave this nigga the journal. He gave it to him, like, it's implied that he gave it to him probably, like, I don't know, like 2-3 minutes ago. It's implied that he just, like, only like minutes have passed, and he's like, "What page are you on?" And Batman's like, 4. He's like, "Oh, that's it? Oh my god, bro." And he's like, Batman's just like, "Yo, like, how about you fucking go upstairs and stop hounding me, nigga." So that's my first couple of panels that I really, really enjoy from this issue. The next couple of panels have to do with 2 brand new characters. You would think that after all this time, there would be no new characters from the Watchmen universe that we need to get introduced to, but fuck it, we got some new faces, and that's the Marionette and the Mime, which are a husband-wife serial killer duo. The Mime dude is what we're going to be mostly talking about. The Marionette, she's sort of like a plot tool in these few panels right now. In these panels, you can see that it appears that the Mime is pretending that he's holding a gun, which makes these panels so great, because everybody was under the impression that he was just a crazy mime dude that pretended to have weapons, but he fucking splats the dude that is like holding his wife hostage. He splats his brains out. So I'm like, oh shit, So like, and apparently he has a whole tool belt of like invisible weapons, which made it really fucking awesome. He has like an invisible knife, and everybody's like, "Yo, what the fuck does he have?" And he throws it. He throws a knife at somebody, and he catches him good and proper in his fucking throat. It was really awesome. It was really awesome. It was a nice element of surprise because Jeff Johns sort of kind of made you feel like, because the other characters were like, nigga, like, what is good with this nigga and his invisible weapons? Like, even Rorschach was making fun of him in the first issue. He was like, yo, bro, what's good with you? Like, they call me crazy. Like, what? So, with that being said, with all that, with those panels being discussed, we can move on to the next issue, and that's Marvel 2-in-1, issue number 2 by Chip Zdarsky and Jim Chung. That's racist! I sound so racist. I swear to God, I'm not trying to be. I just don't know how to. I'm just trying to pronounce a homie's name. I wish I knew how to pronounce his name, but funny enough, I actually met Chip Zdarsky once for what's the Spider-Man book he's writing right now? Spectacular Spider-Man. They were doing a signing in Manhattan at Forbidden Planet, and he seems like a really cool dude. He wrote Sex Pistols before, and he wrote some other shit. Not sex. Is it Sex Pistols? Sex Criminals. There we go. I said Sex Pistols. That's the fucking band.
Give me some juice, Johnny.
I am an anti-coaster. I am an anarcho-coaster.
Holy shit. Anyway, he wrote Sex Criminals, and I was like, I got a minute to actually shoot the shit with him. He's pretty fucking funny. I was like, yo, I opened up Sex Criminals one time, and I saw some weird shit, and I closed it, and I put it down, and I didn't look back. He was like, you know what, that's alright. There's a lot of weird stuff out at that time. I was like, yeah, I was already reading Saga. He's like, yeah, Saga's really weird. And I was like, yeah, it's really fucking weird. And I was like, I clicked with him. We had a moment. We bonded. It was a moment between men, manly comic book men, and it was really nice. Also, Adam Kubert was there. He signed my Origin 2, the Wolverine story. It was really awesome. Really nice. So anyway, moving on. So in this panel right here, right, this panel is covered and dripped in like irony sauce. Like it's like irony sauce all over this fucking panel. So Johnny Storm and Thing, they're in the Fantastic Car, right? And story is not important. You don't need to know why they're there. They're just in the Fantastic Car. And Thing is driving, and Johnny is reading a Fantastic Four comic, and he feels insulted because he claims that the reason that he's insulted is because they're writing this comic book like Reed and Sue are in another universe or otherwise dead, but he specifically uses the words in another universe, right? But here's the kicker. He then states after that they already are in another universe, but these comic book writers in this comic book don't know that. And Thing is just looking back at him because he is under the impression that they're dead, which we know as an audience that they're not dead. Johnny literally believes that they are alive, so he believed what Thing told him, which is actually a lie from his perception, but it's actually true in actuality. It's fucking nuts. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. Like right now, post Secret Wars, they're like in the multiverse just like doing shit. Neither of them know that for sure. Neither of them know that. But the fact that Johnny Storm actually says this out loud is kind of crazy. It's levels of irony. That's way you have to read all of these stories to fully get the layers of irony that was embedded in that one panel alone. It may the irony layer may have been a little bit forced because Johnny Storm literally had to say, yo, these niggas are writing this comic book like Reed and Sue are in an alternate universe or something. Well, they actually are in an alternate universe, but like it still works. Fuck it, I'm giving him the point. It's still my favorite. Fuck it, it's my favorite list. It's not yours, nigga. It's mine. It's mine. Anyway, so we're gonna move on. So the next panel is literally, it's very simple. It's just Human Torch and the Thing. They're about to fight these monsters on Monster Island. That's literally it. And if you look closely, you can see the Mole Man. Now, the reason why this one is one of my favorite panels of the week as well is because I have an omnibus of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's Jack the Goat Kirby's run on Fantastic Four, and there's a lot of weird looking monsters, and a lot of the way I don't know if Jim Chung, if the way he drew these monsters, he looked at Kirby art for inspiration, but they look a lot like Kirby monsters, and it really does hit you with that nostalgia feel. It's like, yo, this is that classic, that spicy classic Fantastic Four. So really it's just a really cool fan thing, you know. That was a really nice touch. And the final panel from Marvel 2-in-1 issue number 2 is a panel of the infamous Iron Man, Victor Von Doom himself, just coming in there. Johnny Storm, he wasn't looking too good, because in the first issue of this series, it's established that Johnny Storm, I don't want to say is losing his powers. I don't want to say that for certain. But for some reason or another, he's having trouble with his powers. Let's go with that. Let's go with the safe route. He's having trouble with his powers. Could be a midlife crisis thing, whatever. But he's having trouble with his powers. As a result, he's getting squatted up on by moloids. So Dr. Doom comes up in there, and he's just like, democracy is overrated. And the reason why he says democracy is overrated is because Mole Man and another fucking monster from a shitty book called Monsters Unleashed somehow made it to this island, and Mole Man and this monster dude are fighting for dominance of the monster people, whatever the fuck. So, you know, they're trying to have a democratic process, and in the process, they just end up like, yo, whoever can fuck up Thing and Johnny Storm is like the leader, whatever. And Dr. Doom just comes on in there and fucks everybody up, and they're just like, whoa, he's the leader. And of course, again, the line, democracy is overrated. And the reason why that line is so great, if you know anything about Dr. Doom at all, you know why that line is great. I'm not even going to say anything past that. If you know anything about Dr. Doom, you know why that line is so goddamn great. My boy Zdarsky, he's doing his homework. He's did his homework. So the issue itself was really great. The art was really great. And there was a lot of funny moments. There was a lot of interesting and great moments that just hit you right in your fucking fanboy G-spot. So that's Marvel 2-in-1 issue number 2, and moving on to the final set of panels from an issue, and we're going back, guys. We're going way back. This is from Green Lantern issue 50 from Ron Mars and Darryl Banks's run on Green Lantern. This was in the 1990s. This was pre-Zero Hour continuity. This is when Hal Jordan snapped. All right, so we're gonna have to explain things, because this is a lot of context right here. So this comes directly after the death and return of Superman, and during those events, Mongol and Cyborg Superman destroyed Coast City. Hal Jordan tried to recreate it with like constructs and shit like that, but obviously it can't be recreated. It's constructs. But it was really sad. It was a whole big sad thing, because it was just Hal Jordan's imagination interacting with him. It was really sad. So yeah, the Guardians determined that this was a gross misuse of his powers as a Green Lantern, and they tried to call him back to Oa for disciplinary action, but Hal Jordan got really pissed off and decided, fuck that, I'm killing everybody. So he started killing everybody, and, you know, I know how this sounds. Fuck it, just roll with it, right? Just roll with it. He kills off damn near he pretty much kills off the entirety of the Green Lantern Corps. And, you know, he gets to Sinestro, and this is the part where I want to show my favorite panel. So the Guardians are assed out. They got nobody left before it's them that Hal comes for. So they're like, alright, we got no choice. We got to throw this nigga Sinestro out there. So they throw Sinestro out there, and they're throwing the fucking hands. They immediately lunge at each other, and it turns out they're like evenly matched with their ring slinging skills. So eventually they just start throwing hands. So this is where some of my favorite panels start kicking in. So boy, like Sinestro and Hal, they're getting it. They're fucking beating each other's asses. And then Hal Jordan, he starts to get the upper hand, and Sinestro says something along the lines of, we both lost. We both fell from grace here. And Hal's like, nigga, fuck is you talking about? We both lost. Nigga, I won. And, you know, Sinestro's like, did you really win, nigga? Did you really win? And Hal Jordan just fucking cracks his neck. Crack. You see the word crack. And the following page, you just see several panels of Hal just looking at Sinestro's corpse on the floor and just walking away. This panel, these panels, excuse me, I can't even, the feelings I get when looking at those panels are indescribable. It's like a mix of shock, of awe, of sadness. You know, like it gives you goosebumps, man. It just fucking gives you goosebumps. So yeah, it was really awesome. It was just, in short, it was just really, really awesome. It got my testosterone flowing, man. I was just like, oh shit. You know, when was it, like, the last time, like, the reason I love comic books so much is because it's illustrations on some paper, but it could still get you fucking hype like you're watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z, you know? But yeah, that'll do it for me. You know, so these are my favorite comic book panels for this week. In the comments below, tell me some of your favorite moments from any issues that you guys read this week. And, you know, we get a discussion going. That'll do it for me, the Jabroni God. I'm out. Peace. Subscribe, like, dislike, whatever you gotta do. And I'll see y'all niggas next time. Peace.